Coming up on Rambler Report, a look into the thoughts and reactions of Rambler students and an important day for lottery fans.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Rambler Report. I'm Colin Hart.
And I'm Megan Walsh.
Bringing you the latest news and updates.
Stay tuned for the headlines you need to know.
Right here, right now on Rambler Report. The Ramblers' basketball season is officially over after two painful losses in the past week, the latest last night in the first round of the National Invitational Tournament, the NIT. Loyola played their former Missouri Valley Conference opponents, the Bradley Braves in Peoria. Loyola was ice cold in the first half, scoring only 19 points. Bradley led by 17 points at halftime. Loyola did make a run in the second half and got within 4 points of the Braves, but Bradley kept coming and ended up winning 74-62. Afterward, Ramblers coach Drew Valentine attributed the loss to several factors.
But then we didn't make the plays. Once it got to three, we missed shots, we fouled, we missed layups, we missed free throws, and it was unfortunate, but give Bradley credit because it got dicey, it got quiet, and they found a way to make the plays.
So Loyola comes home, and Bradley moves on to play Cincinnati in the next round of the NIT.
The Ramblers ended up with a bid to the NIT after they suffered a major upset to St. Bonaventure in the Atlantic 10 tournament quarterfinals in Brooklyn last week. Natalie King reports it was a heartbreaking loss not only for the team, but for the Loyola students who were at the game.
Loyola came into the tournament as the number 2 seed, facing 7th-seeded St. Bonaventure. Loyola had a strong start, leading by as many as 15 points during the first half. Loyola's offense was able to keep the Bonnies far behind, but struggled at the end of the second half, allowing the Bonnies to catch up. The Ramblers held the lead until the last minute of the second half, and the Bonnies tied the score 58-all. After going into double overtime, Loyola was not able to outscore the Bonnies and lost the game 75-74. Reporters for Rambler Sports Locker and the Phoenix were able to see the loss firsthand.
I'm never one to fully lock up a game until the buzzer goes off, but man, I was feeling very confident at one point, especially because it looked like St. Bonnie's just couldn't score. And then our offense went quiet for the last 6 minutes of the game.
The student reporters sitting courtside had an up-close view to the disappointment of the team as they struggled to hold off the Bonnies at the end.
They had me courtside. I was right in line with the basket that Loyola was going to in the second half and both overtimes. And you couldn't be closer to the disappointment there. It was pretty remarkable to watch shot after shot start to go in the hole and then just somehow pop out.
Throughout all the ups and downs of the game, the Ramblers and the Bonnies had fan sections that rallied to support them throughout the game.
It was really sad. The fans really came out for Loyola as well as St. Bonaventure, and both teams were really in it. It was really anyone's game. But watching Loyola have some bad plays earlier in the second half and the overtimes, I think kind of cost them the game.
The student reporters were not the only Ramblers to witness the loss in person. Members of the Loyola cheer and dance teams and the Band of Wolves also attended the tournament.
It's getting pretty stressful, and when the final buzzer went off, it was sad, like seeing the players so devastated.
I was also in Brooklyn covering the game for Rambler Sports Locker. I was sitting by the net that Loyola was shooting at during the second half, and it was especially heartbreaking to see the reactions of the team up close after they lost. For Rambler Report, I'm Natalie King.
Loyola ends the season with a record of 23-10, and they will lose 7 players to graduation, including starters Braden Norris and Philip Alston.
In other Loyola news, 2 schools have announced new deans who will take office on July 1st. Patricia A. Finley has been appointed Dean of the School of Social Work, and Dr. Virginia McDermott has been appointed Dean of the School of Communication. Dean McDermott comes from High Point University in North Carolina, and Dean Finley is a Loyola alum who is returning home.
The Rambler Rally ended on Tuesday. 2,500 donors raised over $800,000 for Loyola. Our student media organizations received close to $1,400 from 25 donors. Thank you to everyone who donated the money that will make a significant impact on Loyola students. On April 12th, Loyola will host an all-day event called #SayHerName, a symposium on intersectional feminism and police violence, inspired by the work of Kimberly Crenshaw. This symposium is focused on Black women and girls killed by the police whose deaths have been silenced and forgotten. This will be held in the Power Rogers and Smith Ceremonial Courtroom from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Loyola University Chicago School of Law. This event is free and open to the public.
Loyola's Water Week is happening this week with events almost every day to educate students how to be sustainable with their water. Tonight, students can attend a council to discuss recent lead service line replacement developments in Chicago. Tomorrow, there will be tabling downtown in McGuire. You can also participate in the Wipeout Waste Challenge tomorrow in the Damon Dining Hall during lunch. A recent story from the Loyola Phoenix reveals that water filtration systems around all 3 campuses are slowly getting updated and replaced. William Bazone went out to get student and faculty reactions to the situation.
Folks, I'm in here inside of Loyola University Chicago School of Communication. You might have seen water bottle fillers just like this lying around, but now with a brand new sticker hiding the filter status. In an article written by Mal Reynolds for the Loyola Phoenix, new filters are coming in, but in the meantime, they've got a QR code over them asking how can Chicagoland water get any better?
I mean, I would say a solid 70% of every classroom I'm in has reusable water bottles, so it's obviously a lot of people are using them. I would honestly guess that a lot of them are in the same boat as me and they are not aware of that.
According to Reynolds, the filters were removed from water bottle filling stations during the pandemic since they were no longer in use, but weren't re-implemented for 3 years following students' return to campus.
I mean, it's a little concerning because you never know how dirty the water could be. The filters do help clear out a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I do need water. I need to drink water.
Going forward, Loyola is planning to implement a new strategy from their facilities department. Instead of using lights to know when to change them, they will now monitor the volume of water coming from the filters, and higher filter usage will lead to pollutant buildup and ultimately lead to less water output. We'll see what happens here in the next few years, but this right here is certainly something to be concerned about in the meantime. For Rambler Report, I'm William Bazone.
Thanks, William. The university estimates that the new water filters are expected to be completely updated by the end of summer 2024.
Coming up after the break, an exclusive invitation awaits students to explore the Art Institute, a haven of creativity and inspiration.
Plus, a spotlight on Olivia Rodrigo and her impactful work with Fun for Good. We'll be right back.
Netflix and chill.
Don't let your Netflix and chill become Netflix and spill.
Idiot!
Be smart.
Chicago had a shockingly low turnout Tuesday for the primary election, with only 20% of registered voters showing up to the polls. Voters between 17 and 24 only make up 3% of the total votes, while those between 65 and 74 showed up in huge numbers with almost 60% of the votes as of noon Tuesday. For the president race, President Biden and former President Trump won the primary in Illinois for their parties. Results are in from this week's election here in Chicago. Voters rejected the Bring Chicago Home real estate transfer tax, which was proposed to fight homelessness and raise transfer taxes for properties valued over $1 million. The measure lost by several thousand votes. The noes totaled just over 176,000 votes, or about 53.7%. The yes votes total about 144,000 and a little over 46%. The defeat was disappointing for many who had voted for it.
So I like that it opened a conversation. I don't think it was radical enough in addressing accessibility to housing, let alone for like graduates and people who are still trying to find a way to be financially independent.
Mayor Johnson said in an official statement that people in Chicago are still committed to the issue of houselessness, and so is he, despite the loss.
Votes are still being counted in the race for Cook County State's Attorney. Former appellate judge Eileen O'Neill Burke has a lead of less than 10,000 votes over her opponent, prosecutor Clayton Harris III. The race is set to be decided by the remaining 15% of votes still being counted. The Art Institute invites the Loyola community to its Loyola Day event this Saturday. Students, faculty, and staff get free admission to an interactive event showcasing works of art. Loyola art history students are presenting in the museum galleries from 11 a.m. to noon and from 2 to 3 p.m. Programs with more info are being given out at the museum's entrance on Monroe Street.
Olivia Rodrigo has the guts to advocate for what she believes in by creating the Fund for Good to support those seeking reproductive health freedom. A portion of Rodrigo's concert tickets are donated to the fund, which was started in partnership with the National Network for Abortion Funds in North America. At the concert in Chicago this past week, Rodrigo had booths to register to vote and another to provide abortion access information. At the beginning of the tour, there were initially booths that were handing out free emergency contraceptives. However, Rodrigo faced backlash and stopped because of the concerns of children attending the 21-year-old singer's concerts. Lollapalooza announced the lineup Tuesday with artists like SZA, Hozier, and Tyler Creator set to perform. More than 150 acts are scheduled to perform across the 8 stages. Lolla will be held again August 1st through 4th at Grant Park. 4-day tickets went on sale today. Single-day tickets will go on sale at a later time.
With the announcement of the lineup and ticket prices, many Loyola students are beginning their plans for attending Lollapalooza. Alyssa Suarez went to get the reactions and expectations of Loyola students for this year's festival.
Lollapalooza's newest lineup includes new faces such as Melanie Martinez and K-pop sensation Stray Kids. We asked Loyola students on their reaction to this summer's lineup.
I have not been to Lolla before. I'm really excited. This is going to be my first year, so I'm excited to see how it is.
I went 3 years ago, so it was pre-COVID, and it was really fun.
I went 2 years ago for the first time. One day I went as a fan, and then the next day I went as an employee, so I was working it, and it was pretty cool.
I was really surprised. I feel like the lineup has something for everyone this year, which is really exciting.
I'm really excited for Tyler, the Creator, and SZA, and then some of the other smaller artists that are going to be performing. I have already bought tickets. I was up at 10 a.m. this morning to buy the pre-sale, so I have the 4-day pre-sale pass.
This is my favorite lineup that came out so far, so that's why I got the pre-sale tickets. I'm not liking how expensive they are, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
Stay hydrated, make sure you have your phone. Sometimes the service cuts out, so stay close to friends and always have a buddy system.
Bring water, try to have fun. It'll be a long couple days, so you'll be drained in some of them. So don't go too hard in one certain thing. Try to kind of like space out your fun.
Lollapalooza hasn't released their day lineup yet, but the excitement is here to stay. For Rambler Report, I'm Alyssa Suarez.
4-day general admission tickets start at $399, with GA Plus tickets starting at $745. 4-day tickets allow attendees access to over 170 performances across 8 stages. If you're looking to try your luck, the Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots are reaching new heights. The estimated $750 million Powerball prize has its next drawing this Saturday night. The Mega Millions jackpot is projected to reach almost $1 billion by its next drawing on Friday night. Tickets start at $2 for both lotteries.
You know, if I won the lottery, I don't know what I would do with it. I would just feel like that's too much money.
Yeah, I mean, they say you're supposed to keep lottery-related information confidential if you win, so I'm not even going to reveal what I would buy.
On that note, that wraps up this edition of Rambler Report.
To stay up to date, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Rambler Report LUC. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified when our weekly newscast is released.
For Rambler Report, I'm Megan Walsh.
And I'm Colin Hart. We'll catch you next week.